of weekends ago, I pulled up the carpet and we were really excited because, hey, we got some hardwood floors here. But then, this happened. So we're just going to cover the floor with some of this luxury vinyl tile. I love this stuff. It's great. Measure the room. So you get your tape measure. We can go pretty loose on this. I mean, honestly, when I get measurements, I round up just a little bit.
That's because we're going to need an extra 10 to 20%. So I sketch out the room, and here you can see it's a 14 foot by 10.5 foot main section with a 3x1 closet. I multiply and add them together, get 150 square feet, and then I have 10% and 20% more than what I needed. When I go to the store to buy the materials, I want the total square footage to be between these two values.
All right, great. I measured it. Now I have to buy the flooring. I already did that. Got a whole bunch of boxes. The box has 23.19 square feet. Get your calculator out, try to fall within your range. And in case you have mistakes, which you probably will, I do all the time, it's great to have some extra material. And you'll notice that I left the boxes out. Why? You need to let your flooring rest in the room it's going to go in. This floor is going to expand and contract, and humidity in the air is going to impact that. So before you actually install the floor, you want it to get used to the humidity, used to the temperature, I don't know, used to stuff. We have to consider the molding. The floor is going to be thicker. Let's get a piece here. It's going to be thicker than no floor. So where you run into problems would be the molding around the door. We got to figure out how to close this gap right here. And we're going to do that with quarter round. We'll get to that later. But where you can't just add material, right over here. This closet has molding that goes to the floor. And when I go to put this on, unless I'm some kind of perfectionist who can get this curve absolutely seamlessly, fun fact, you can't. We need to cut this. So I go around the room and I try to get a sense of where I need to cut the trim. So here we got the closet, we got 1, 2. Here we've got a little bit more door molding. Oh, look at that, it's already cut up. It looks terrible, but you know what? It'll pass. Here I might repair by adding just a little bit more decorative trim, but here it's already cut. Excellent. And then the one problem here is the threshold. So as I'm looking, here, this threshold is meant to meet this higher floor to this floor. Now we're going shopping in our tool storage. What I'm thinking for is, all right, I gotta cut something that's really low to the wall. Originally I'm thinking this hacksaw, hey, maybe, no. You know what? You can see how thick it is. I think that this is gonna be thicker than the flooring itself, so when I lay it on the ground, it's not gonna actually cut as low as I need. Plus, it reaches down. I'm not gonna be able to get all the way in there. So instead, I've got this Japanese blade, not sure, a razor saw, very sharp, and it's flimsy. That sometimes causes issues, but I know that I can get in very low profile, and I can even bend it to get to the depth I need, or to get it as low as I need to get it. I always have a hacksaw I can go to. Not the greatest, it's tiring for your hand, but it works. A chisel, just a little chisel in case I need to slip it in. With a little hammer, I can just tap away, get out whatever's left. And then the big dog, I got my Dremel. This is my best guess. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna bring all these inside using my handy dandy tool bag. To start us off, I'm gonna use this Japanese razor blade. Take your piece just to help you. I know you scored a line, but with a blade like this, it's so thin, you can just use it to guide it. You can use your material to guide the blade to be the same height. chisel. Let's see. I'm just using it to push it. See if we're almost out. Last, you just slide it under, make sure it fits. Let's say you don't have one of these Japanese razor blade things. Hacksaw approach. I'm just going to start off the same way. Slowly get it so you have a groove. Back and forth, forever. So I'm back at that corner piece, and I'm really not sure how I'm going to approach it. But I have my cutoff pieces that are the same height as the flooring. I can use this as a guide to see how much I need to remove, or to see if it fits. It almost fits, so I'm going to have to get crafty here.
So my main goal here is to just mark a line so I can use my Dremel tool.
Make sure I mark clear enough with it.
With my Dremel, I'm using a metal cutting disc. Yeah, it's meant for metal, but it still works on wood. You get a little bit of burning, sometimes it gets smoky, but it does the trick. After the Dremel, I pull out my chisel and my hammer, and I get that corner out that I couldn't get with the disc. I keep going until that corner is removed, and then I use that extra cutoff piece from the molding to check if I got through.
No, I can't just put it flat to the threshold. If you want to do this right, you gotta cut it. The assumption is it's gonna be going in for decades.
After trying that for a while, I ended up pulling out my Dremel to get further depth. It got a little smoky, so if you go this route, make sure you have air ventilation.
Alright, now I've got to remove that piece that I cut out. So I'm using a mixture of the smallest chisel I have. I've also got a flathead screwdriver. And essentially all I'm doing is I'm putting the screwdriver in this way, tapping a little bit with the hammer, twisting it, and then taking out the strips. Give it a tap while it's angled, and remove that material.
So once you've removed a good amount of material, test your flooring, put it underneath, and see that you have a 1/4 inch underneath the door. You want the end of the piece of flooring to fit underneath with a little bit of wiggle room because you're going to need some space for the floor to expand. Now we're ready to collect our tools to put in the floor. I want to clarify something. I'm not using the perfect official method. Really, you're supposed to remove the threshold. I didn't want to risk hurting the hallway floor, and I also didn't want to remove the trim, have to repaint it. And you be the judge. It turned out looking like this. Realistically, I don't think anyone's going to notice. So let's recap. For your first step, you need to measure the room. Then you need to buy your flooring and let it rest for a week. Then you need to cut the trim around the doors. And you need to either remove and replace your threshold or cut your threshold. Next video, we are going to lay the flooring. If you found this helpful, please smash that bell or leave a comment, whatever it is. Please stay tuned for video 2 where we lay the flooring.